Hey, what's up? This is episode 3 of Meetle, the Super Beetle. And the last episode, I showed you how I cut the Mazda Miata in half. And now I'm going to try and put it back together. So the first thing I did, and I did this before even cutting it in half, was I got the front end up on jack stands and got it level. Then I got the rear end up on some 2x4s and some 1x material and about 2.5 or 3 inches worth of wood, like acting like it was a ramp. And I got that perfectly level because the floor is not level, so I had to use different thicknesses of wood on either side to get it level. Went back and forth, and the idea is the tires can roll down this track that I built however many inches that I need, which is about 6 inches, because the Miata's wheelbase isn't long enough for the Beetle. And so the next thing I did after cutting it, the next thing I did was cut in half. And what I did just now though, before, as I'm preparing to put it back together, is I welded on some angle iron here onto the seam right here below the door sill. And the idea of it welded here, perfectly level with this, with the body, is that I can use it as a datum point for lining this up. And first thing I'll do is I'll probably mark 6 inches here. There we go. And this is just this is like the rough measurement here. This won't be the final measurement. I'll be doing lots of measuring. This is just this will just be an aid to help me get it lined up, and then I can start measuring from there. And yeah, this is the time where, this is the part of the build where you'd really want to have a frame table / chassis table, whatever you want to call it. It would make this part a lot easier. But I'm showing you how I'm getting by without one. And so far, I think it's gonna work pretty well. All right, I think what I'll do next is I will get them in line with each other. So it's level in this direction, but it doesn't have to be level in this direction because they can swivel on their axes. So get them, get it lined up in line with each other, and then I can get some ratchet straps and start bringing it in just smidge by a smidge, and maybe I can put some wheel blocks in right here to keep them down. I've also screwed down these 2x4s to make it extra secure so they don't get kicked out or anything. And you can't see on the other side of the vehicle, but there's jack stands all over the vehicle. But there's a scissor jack underneath the transmission. There's a bottle jack in front to help me position it. And there's this floor jack here with the wheels. And that's how this half of the car can roll back and forth. So that's the plan. Well, you got to kind of see how the sausage is made, so to speak. But it actually wasn't so bad. I got it level with each other first, and then I used the ratchet straps to get it where I wanted it, and then I started measuring from here to here to see if it was 6 inches, and then I thought maybe I would just double check the Miata wheelbase, and my note said it was 89.4, but when I double checked online, it was actually 89.2. So this whole time I was saying it was 5.9 or 6 inches, but it was 6.1, I guess. But what really was important was that they just be the same, and that's what they are. So the wheelbase as it is right now is 95.25, and my notes say that the Super Beetle wheelbase is 95.3. Good enough for me. And I was just measuring from the center of the hubcap to the center of the hubcap. So then I tacked it in, I measured again. This obviously isn't going to hold up the structure of the vehicle. This down here is 1-inch angle iron. Still not enough. So that's just to set the wheelbase. It's still going to stay on the jack stands and the floor jack. And then these are going in. These will be the new frame rails. These are what I picked up from the store today. And they are, it is 2x3 by 1/8 steel. Pretty heavy duty. And it was actually harder to weld under here than I thought. So I was welding it down here to tie it all in. And it's going to really suck to weld this thing in. I see why now having a lift and a rotisserie and a chassis table, it's more than just nice. It's almost impossible without them in that respect. But I'm doing by with what I got, and it's going to work. So that's it for this episode. Almost got it back together, I guess.